Okay, good morning. Here we have today a A-Class. It's the small little Renault engine diesel one and the turbo's gone. So I'm just going to do a quick show you what I'm doing, where I'm up to with it. So the subframe's off if you need to do one. And at that stage where that's where the turbo goes. How good is this stem on this camera? So there it is. And I'm going to show you on the floor now what you need to buy to do the job and to do it right, I suppose. Okay, so this is what you need to purchase to do the job. Obviously your turbo's gone. Quite common on these. There's a gasket, this one here, and it's got a heat shield on it. When you get a turbo, if you're buying an aftermarket, they just send you that gasket. It's not enough, because you can see it's on both sides. So you don't want to fit it and then find out you've got a squeal like a clarinet reed or something like that, because it's so annoying because you have to do the whole job again. So exhaust clamp, do get these. I know you spend a bit more money from Mercedes. There's the bags that they come in if you need the part numbers. There you go. If this helps, if you need any info, just send us a message. That one there, you can get that number. Not easy to read. So you get these and you're ready to go. This is for the EGR connecting to the DPF. This is obviously the downpipe to the back of the turbo. This plastic ring, they included that, and I'm not sure yet where that goes, so I'm going to find out. Exhaust clamp was done, and you pretty much ready to go with all that stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start fitting it, and I'll give you a quick view of the subframe going back on the car as well, so that way if you're taking yours off, you've not done it before, you'll know exactly what wires to take off, where to take them off from. It just makes your life easier. So, but there we go. So an expensive few bits of kit here. I think it's about 120 quid altogether on gaskets, which is a lot of money. I suppose this is the expensive one. But if you don't do it and you put it back together thinking, oh, I'll seal it, it'll be this, you're going to be pretty fed up when it squeals. Our turbo is fitted, and the next thing, a bit of advice about, is fitting the DPF cam back, is get your straps ready, slide it into where the EGR pipe comes out there, and what you need to do is leave those nuts loose, get the pipe on where it goes onto the top there, onto the turbo, and then be sympathetic about how you tighten everything up. So you're giving it a nip there, a nip on these, and then just touching these up just to pull the DPF in. So you're not tightening up top here and then putting the clamps on and struggling because you've got a gap at the back because you've not been slowly tightening things up. So that's on. Brackets on that supports the downpipe. And what we're going to do now is put the drive shaft on. And on this one, I'm going to run it before I actually put the subframe back on. We can always clear fault codes for ABS and stuff like that, and steering rack, with no comms. So we're going to do that and see how we go. Okay, so there it is fitted. What I do is, obviously I've not got the subframe on. I'll show you that in a minute. I do this for two reasons. One, if you shouldn't have, because they're all brand new gaskets, but run it, fresh oil, you prime the turbo, and you can run it, have a look round, make sure everything sounds well. Watch your steering wheel, because obviously it's freewheeling inside, so you don't want to knock that out, so that your clock spring snaps as you drive off. I'll explain that in a minute. But yeah, there it is. It's all back together, it's all working fine, sounds great, and you can have that chance to look underneath and make sure everything's doing what it should do. Then put your subframe on. Now you'll see we've got faults in this, and when you're starting to take the subframe off, I'll sort of do this in reverse. As you take the subframe off, there's an M8 bolt that goes in the bottom of the column with a 13mm hexagonal socket that you need to undo it. When you undo it, put the steering in the straight ahead position, take your keys out and make sure the steering column's locked. If you notice, I've got a bag just holding this because it's freewheeling, because there's no steering rack on. Now the reason for that is, if you're working on the car and your keys are left in, you disconnect your battery and there's no steering lock on, this could spin round. Then when you put it back together, you put it back together one turn out, or on this I think you can only do it one turn out, but on other cars you can put them slightly out, half a turn, whatever. Reason being is when you build it up and you go on road test, if you've allowed that to spin, that clock spring, when you put one on, you set it in its midpoint. If you don't, you'll drive off, you'll snap it, your airbag light will come on. So you need to be conscious of that. So everything's good, it all runs perfectly. Another good job, just got to put the subframe on and away it can go to the customer. So there it is, brand new turbo and an A-Class. They're not bad to do once you got the bits out of the way. I think that is all I've got to tell you until I get to the subframe, and I'll just explain where the wires are so you know where to undo them. I'll put it up towards the car and I'll just video it so that you can see the points where you need to know. But apart from that, there you go. Okay, so the final bit is the subframe goes back on. Now, the points, subframe's easy, you know how to undo those. If you're going to do a turbo on this, you should be able to take a subframe down. So there you go. But the main thing is this. If you look here, I'll try and put that on the ramp. If you look inside there, that is where the brake pipe, the ABS wires and the brake pad wire plug in. So there's a plug on the back there that you need to undo, and this whole plastic piece comes off the subframe. What you do is you push up on a clip under there. You push up on a clip and you'll see how it's all pushing backwards. So that's how that locates. So I'll push it back in a minute. Oh, there you go. You'll see it just slides off. So it slides off that suspension arm rear bush at the top. So note that they're there so you don't drop the subframe, snap all the wires out of the car. So there's that, and also here's your power steering wires. And you'll see I put wire. See how I've written wire on there? Well, I do things like that because then when I'm putting it back, I go, did the wire go on this side or that side? I know instantly. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but I just do this for a matter of fact. So it's all back on. I'm going to get it all fastened up and then give it a road test. And that should be it. That's it, the car is running. So quick check, because obviously we had diagnostic codes in it. So we'll do a global ECU scan. As you see now, nothing on the dash, running like a dream. It's ready to go to the customer. So we're nearly there on this. There, we're done. We'll have loads of codes in this. We'll scan all the ECUs. If you see them all being scanned, you'll have fault codes in some associated with leaving ABS wires off and things like that. And we go. So if we go to the list, so we've got those there. No CAN, comms, power, so quick erase everything. And there you go, it's all green and it's ready to go out. I know we've got one in communications with the combustion engine has a malfunction. Okay, there's a fault in there, so we'll report to the customer on that. But overall, we're done. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.